Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the digital asset investor, and before I get going, I wanted to show you this. This is important because a lot of people forget this. There's a lot of overlap between the linked to portfolio companies Ripple and PolySign. Ripple's co-founder Arthur Brito and Ripple's CTO and chief cryptographer David Schwartz are leading blockchain architects behind PolySign's technology engine for securing digital assets. I bought more PolySign. I had some already, but I bought more this week, and I'm planning on buying more of it on Link2's platform. I think that there's a lot of opportunities in this pullback we've had, and I think PolySign is one of the bigger ones. So links in the top of the description of that of this video. You can click on that. Tell them DAI sent you. Now, this was from this is the guy at Uphold. He's put this out. ECB official says energy intensive crypto should be banned. Now, folks, we are literally seeing it's kind of like it's almost like a bunch of bad guys who are scared that they're finally gonna get their butts kicked, and they are reeling. We're watching the FUDsters come out of the woodwork. We saw Jim Cramer come out and, oh, XRP is a con. Now, think about that for a minute. We know for a fact that Ripple's been working with over 50 central banks over the course of the last few years to literally to pilot and potentially build central bank digital currencies on the XRP ledger. And how can you go from something like that to XRP is a con? I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense. These people are in the misdirection game. That's what the guys like Jim Cramer, they've literally, their careers have been built on misdirection. Get people to think this is going on so that they'll sell or buy, and then they make their money. That's how this guy plays the game. That's what his career's been about. I can't believe he even has a job. But there's a reason we're seeing all these people going crazy. Now, like I've said before, all of this has to do with the petrodollar, crypto, all of it. All the crazy things we've been seeing for the past 5 years, all of it has to do with us coming to the end of this fake money fiat system. Watch this. This is Mr. Intuitive, the official cool guy. He says, a little gold standard meeting digital asset investor. Look at this. This is the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, whatever you call him, arrives in Saudi Arabia for a 3-day visit. His first visit, world's biggest oil exporter since 2016. Saudi fighter jets escorted his plane until it landed. Remember, folks, remember how we got the petrodollar? Nixon sent Kissinger over there to Saudi Arabia and basically worked a deal and said, if you'll make everybody buy your oil in US dollars, we'll protect you. And Saudi Arabia is now in the process of flipping the US president the bird while he meets with China. So you tell me, watch this. Now, folks, I'm going to piece all this together. A lot of people try to say what I'm about to go through, oh, that doesn't make any sense. I think it makes perfect sense. I think XRP is and always has been a national security issue, and I would throw XLM into that conversation too. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum have been a distraction. I think that I don't know who's behind it, but it's very possible that what Peter Thiel says here is true. Remember, Peter Thiel founded PayPal, which was called X.com when it started with Elon Musk. Watch.
From China's point of view, they want to get, they don't like the U.S. having this reserve currency because it gives us, a lot of leverage over, Iranian oil supply chains and all sorts of things like that. they don't want the renminbi to become a reserve currency, because then you have to open your capital account and you have to do all sorts of things that they really don't want to do. I think the euro, you could think of as, was in part a Chinese weapon against the dollar. It didn't, the last decade hasn't quite worked out that way, but that was, China would have liked to see two reserve currencies like the euro. And, even though I'm sort of a pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin maximalist person, I do wonder whether at this point Bitcoin is also should also be thought in part as a Chinese financial weapon against the U.S., where it threatens fiat money, but it especially threatens the U.S. dollar, and China wants to do things to weaken it. So it's sort of China is long Bitcoin, and perhaps from a geopolitical perspective, the U.S. should be a little bit be asking some tougher questions about exactly how that works. But some internal stable coin in China, that's not a real cryptocurrency. That's just that's just some sort of totalitarian.
Let's think this through. We went through over a year and a half of talking about ETHgate, and all roads eventually led to where? China. You remember that video I played of Jim Rickards and that guy literally brought up, he said, you know what, I think this FTX thing might have to do with China. Bitcoin and Ethereum, almost every single one of these things at some point, what was Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson saying back in the day? They were saying that Ethereum and Bitcoin mining were controlled by China. All of the roads lead to China. And I have believed, and I still believe to this day, that XRP and XLM are the literal national security interests of the United States. And I believe it's all been a look over here, Bitcoin, Ethereum. And I think I think so many people, major people, I won't name names, but so many people in our country are compromised by the Chinese through who knows what kind of means. And I think we're literally watching a digital currency war. And ironically, Gary Gensler was in digital currency wars that was run at Harvard in 2019. You can see it on YouTube. So now, Peter Thiel, founder of PayPal, with who? Elon Musk. Just tie it all together, folks. Today, Elon Musk tweets this. This is his kid. His kid's name is, I think, XA12 is what his name. As you know, Elon Musk has an obsession with the letter X. I've gone through some of this in the past, and I'm showing this for a second or a third time. But I'm doubted every time I bring this up. But I've seen enough, folks. They're like, oh, that's his name. You're exaggerating. And this guy here, you're one delusional person. Well, you've got to understand, this delusional person has been making videos on one topic, one company, one or two digital assets for two to three videos a day for almost 4 years. And I believe it puts you in a place where you can see around corners. So if you don't believe me, watch what I'm about to show you. So yes, the kid's name is X. But let me ask you this. Why does it not have a Twitter logo on the badge? I think Elon Musk is toying with us here. Watch this video. This is Elon Musk in 2013.
And in the early game going, the company was called X.com. And then there was another company called Confinity, which had actually also started out from a different area. They started out with Palm Pilot cryptography. And then they had as a demo application the ability to beam token payments from one Palm Pilot to another by the infrared port. But then they had a website which was called PayPal, where you would reconcile the beamed payments. And what they found was that the website portion was actually far more interesting to people than Palm Pilot cryptography was. So they started leading their business in that direction. And then in basically early 2000, X.com acquired Confinity, and then about a year later, we ended up changing the company's name to PayPal.
All right. And we've shown you video where one of the PayPal founders said that their original goal was to create a global reserve currency, a digital currency, and they got sidetracked because their investors were more interested in them making money in the short term for them to look at that long-term vision. And then here's another video of him from 1999.
Fulton created a new company. So this is an ATM. What we're going to do is transform the traditional banking industry. I do not fit the picture of a banker.
X.com, this is Julie.
Raising $50 million is a matter of making a series of phone calls, and the money is there. I've sunk the great majority of my net worth into X.com, which is the new banking and mutual funds company on the internet that I've started.
Big X.
Exactly. X.com. I think X.com could absolutely be a multi-billion-dollar bonanza, because if you look at the industry that X is pursuing, it's the biggest sector of the world economy.
Is that a McLaren F1?
Yes.
Oh my God. That's unbelievable.
It's sort of like a series of poker games.
So there's that. Then there was this big name investors back effort to build a better Bitcoin. This is one thing you hear David Schwartz say over and over. The idea was to build a better Bitcoin. It was called OpenCoin before it was called Ripple. And right here, OpenCoin also received an investment from the early stage wing of Founders Fund, a venture firm owned by PayPal founder Peter Thiel. Then there was this. So wait, I skipped something. Hold on. I think I did. I put it out of place. Right here, I meant to put this here. Okay. So then we've got this. This is when early Stripe investors were Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, a lot of those guys from PayPal, and then this is Patrick Collison, the CEO of Stripe. In 4+ years, Stripe has said very little about Stellar in public and has not sold a single lumen. Line in question says we'd like to see substantive, non-speculative usage grow. Exclusive online payments firm. This is from July 9th, 2021, online payments firm Stripe takes first big step towards blockbuster listing. This was back, I can't remember, 2014. Stripe considered working with Jed McCaleb when Stripe attempted to buy Ripple Labs. After the deal fell through and McCaleb left Ripple, Stripe gave $3 million to the Stellar Development Foundation in exchange for 2 billion lumens. Any net profits from the sale of Stripe's lumens would be returned to SDF. And then here's my red file scrapbook, you may remember. That is Ashton Kutcher. This is the guy that was on the Ellen show with him when they were doing the Ripple segment. There's Elon Musk. He's buddies with them. There they are on the Ellen show. There's Elon Musk with Guy Osseri, who's on the show. Snoop, who did the XRP community meetup. And then we've got, who else? Okay, I'll end it there as far as that goes. But then this is Ashton Kutcher and Peter Thiel teaming up to defend Airbnb. So then we have here, this was from Jim Cramer this morning. Folks, I literally, if I was betting my money on it, I literally believe that every morning somebody calls Jim Cramer and they say, okay, here's what you're going to do today. You're going to bash this and this, and then you're going to pump up this and this. That's how I think this guy's life works. And then he goes and does some reading and builds a narrative around it however he wants to do it. Because think about this for a minute. For years now, these people won't even say the word Ripple or XRP on their channel. And now, when the lawsuit's over and they're concerned probably that there's going to be a win, all of a sudden he wants to go out of his way to talk about XRP in a negative way. Not a coincidence. Well, John Deaton says Cramer is calling something XRP a con because he's conflating it with SBF. He's not conflating anything. This is by design. A fraudulent criminal enterprise. Why don't you get someone on that actually knows what he or she's talking about? 8 years ago, the U.S. government, what is that office called? Anyway, described XRP. Guess what? It wasn't described as a con. It was classified as a virtual currency in a decentralized payments system. Next year, 2015, FinCEN and DOJ called it a convertible virtual currency, not a con. In 2015, the CFTC implied it was a commodity, not a con. See, Jim Cramer knows all this, and Jim Cramer knows all the people that called it a virtual currency. But Jim Cramer does not tell the truth. Jim Cramer carries narratives. This guy is a freaking bad guy if there ever was a bad guy, and he ought to be ashamed of himself, but unfortunately guys like him are never ashamed of themselves. BitBoy says behind every single major market crash this year, and he's tweeting this article that's basically saying that Sam Bankman-Fried is being accused of the manipulation, I think, of the Luna crash, okay? And I said, which begs the question, who was behind him? Who was getting him to do this? And then there's this down here. I said, seeing news about FTX was behind many of the crypto market crashes this year. Multiple government agencies were meeting with FTX, the same government who has been trying to rein in crypto. Can you see? Then there was this article today. Is Coinbase an M&A target for Bank of America, Fidelity, or KKR? Here's a riff by a 2-bit idiot. So all this. So we got SBF, who's trying to tank cryptocurrencies. When you tank major cryptocurrencies, it tanks the entire market, thus putting you into a crypto winter. And then all of a sudden things get cheap. Are you seeing a pattern here? It's almost like the Wall Street playbook, folks. And then there's this, Kevin O'Leary. I'm not even going to play him, and I'm not going to play this. I'm kind of sick of these people. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that these people sicken me, make me